Good Life and insist that our child takes only breast milk for the first 6 months. No food, no water, no gripe water.
Breast milk has all the nutrients the child needs to grow strong and healthy. So I ask, how is your good life?
Remember that exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months is best for baby, and good growth starts with right nutrition at birth. Good Life, live it well. It's an everyday thing. Good Life from Ghana Health Service and partners with support from USAID.
Hello, my name is Mami Akua, an entrepreneur and a mother of 2. My work keeps me busy most of the time, and sometimes it takes me away from my family. But the safety and health of my family is very important to me. As a working mother, I cannot afford to take any chances when it comes to matters of health. That is why I signed up for a family healthcare plan from Equity Health Insurance. My family and I have access to over 700 hospitals, clinics, opticians, dentists, pharmacies, and diagnostic centers across the length and breadth of Ghana. With Equity Health Insurance, I no longer have to worry about medical bills. Anytime a member of my family visits a hospital, Equity Health Insurance has got my family and I covered. What about you? Who has got you covered?
Call Equity Health Insurance on 050-660-7910 and talk to them about your family health needs now. Visit equityhealthinsurance.com for more information. Equity Health Insurance, here for you.
December is just around the corner and our nation stands at a crossroads. Will we continue down the same path or will we forge a new one together? The choice is ours, but we need every voice to be heard. That is why the New Force is investing time and resources to educate and encourage everyone about the voters ID card registration. To all of you out there unsure if your vote matters, your voice matters. Your vote is your power and your opportunity to shape the future of our motherland. Don't let others decide for you. Don't stay silent. Get up, get out there, and get your voter's ID card today. Make sure you are ready to make a difference when the time comes. Don't delay. Act now. From the 7th to the 27th of May, and on the 30th of May, you can replace all missing ID cards. Every vote counts. Your vote, your destiny. A message from Nana Kwame Bediako and the New Force.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ghana Connect. It's been a few months of unprecedented steep decline of the Ghana cedi. Our local currency has been facing troubling times as it matches up against the US dollar, the euro, and other foreign currency. In fact, as we speak, the cedi is trading beyond 15 Ghana cedis. The pound is almost hitting 20 Ghana cedi. I remember like it was yesterday, a few months back, right behind this console with Evans and Co, when we're talking about whether or not the cedi will hit the 8 or even break the 8. It is doing almost double now. And we are in the middle of 2024. What happens when people start importing for Christmas and the import bill goes really up? The demand for dollar really skyrockets. Are we going to see the prediction of Captain Amwabin, for instance, saying that could hit 20 Ghana cedis, and how are business struggling? So tonight on the show, we want to make it about you. Those of you who do business with the foreign currencies and how you are coping with these unprecedented times of the cedi's poor exchange. We have some really interesting minds, persons who do business, and want to hear from you as well.
All of us, the common reason is speculation. So much speculation out there. And we need people to know that this speculation is not helping us. Then also, we have paid contractors. As of now, year to date, I think we've spent some 49 billion Ghana cedis. Same time last year, we did 41 billion Ghana cedis. And so this demonstrates that a lot of liquidity, cedi liquidity, is in the market.
The finance minister believes this is down somewhat to the speculation in the system, and that is what is causing the cedi's steep decline. Do you agree with that? Do you really believe government is on top of the situation? Remember, it was just a few years back when we were told when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Dr. Baumia said it was true then, it is true now. We connect right after these messages.
When you want to eat, just Momo it. Tired of the long queues in the supermarket? Pay with Momo. When you really want that beautiful new blouse, just Momo it. When you want to get a trim and get fresh to impress you know who, just Momo it. When you need to pay your utility bills and domestic staff, Shani Momo. When you want to send love to the family back home, send some Momo. Join the millions of MTN Momo users all over Ghana and live life the brighter way. So just Momo it. MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHF, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
Yeah. We have a new leader in town. Obiarenti. Amanfo. Madam was Sibebre. When him say my baby, maybe more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal packed with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
Dear citizens of Ghana, are you 18 years and above and of sound mind? Are you a first-time voter? Were you unable to register during the last limited voters registration exercise in 2023? If you answered yes to any of these questions, a great opportunity is here for you to register in this year's limited voters registration exercise. Starting from 7th May 2024 to 27th May 2024, you must visit the Electoral Commission's office in your district or rely on the Commission's registration mobile teams with the following national identification documents: Ghana card, a Ghanaian passport, or 2 guarantors. Remember, together we can build Ghana. So get involved and participate in the limited voters registration.
10 years warranty. Select any color for free. In no the crack, in no the spoil. Call Accra on 0244 335 168. Kumasi 0505 555 666. Syntax Tank. A strong, a tough. Water is needed all day, all night. So, remember Syntax Tank all day, all night. 7 years warranty. Select any color for free. In no the crack, in no the spoil. Call Accra on 0244 335 168. Kumasi 0505 555 666. Syntax Tank. A strong, a tough.
Hello, Ghana. Are you tired of the same old political rhetoric? Do you believe it is time for a change that truly represents the voices of our youth, women, and children? I present to you Nana Kwame Bediako. He is a visionary leader with a passion for making our country better through innovative industrial revolution. Together, we can change the political narrative and create a government that truly represents the interest of all citizens. Join this journey to build a better and inclusive future for all by contributing to our Save Ghana Fund campaign. Your support, no matter the amount, is not just a donation. It is an investment in the shared desire for a more prosperous prosperous, equitable, and better nation. To donate, visit www.nkb.com.gh or dial *887 *2024 #. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for keeping your dial locked right here on 99.7 FM. My name is Kwaku Asante, and this is Ghana Connect. We're talking about the Ghana City.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that I stated in 2014 that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. That was true then, and it is true now. It is 100% correct. So if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But it is warped logic to jump from that to a conclusion that if there is depreciation in your currency, then the fundamentals must be weak. Do you understand the logic? It is very warped logic. If the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. But if the exchange rate moves, you cannot jump to that conclusion that the fundamentals are weak.
The rate of depreciation is our concern now. Just imagine, during the shortest possible time, beginning of the year, the dollar has appreciated against the cedi also about 20%, and it's worrying. The product you imported with the same amount, now you go to the port, you're going to pay more duties because of the exchange rate.
The option clearly is to adjust prices up and speculate what the dollar will be in the next couple of weeks, and then adjust the prices up and pass everything down to the Ghanaian.
The rate at which it's falling is worrying. Is concerned to the business community. As a result of that, it's hurting our business, where goods and services cannot be projected. You can't plan for pricing, both the two ends, from the consuming end and then from the business community end.
City depreciation, cement production is hinged on importation. Clinker.
Over 1 million Ghanaians, Mr. Speaker, according to the Ghana Statistics SASCA Service, are likely to face food insecurity between June and August of this year. Mr. Speaker, this government has its priorities misaligned. This government acknowledges that we have challenges in the economy. We didn't see COVID coming. The government of this country will live up to expectations. This government is not sleeping on the job. We know that the economy that we all complain about, every sector to be proactive in doing business, and the only way is to give certain assurances. We need the $150 million into the economy to help shore up, Mr. Speaker, our reserves, and to help us, Mr. Speaker, ensure that as the funds are coming in, Mr. Speaker, we know they were talking about the cedi weakening. We need these dollars in. We want to use this opportunity to urge the Vice President to quit his offbeat dancing on the campaign trail and focus on the dancing cedi.
That is the situation with the city. You heard there Dr. Bawumia talk about how this is a dancing city. So let's zoom right into the conversation and speak to persons who really have some information about what is going on. Let's talk to Vicentia Megbeto, is owner of Calidat Imports, and they deal with some imports. She will join us pretty shortly. Benjamin Yeboah is Welfare Officer of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Benjamin, it's good to have you on Ghana Connect.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, Apia Jacob is also at Abosiokai, and Abosiokai is a hub for imported material, so they know what the dollar is doing. Jacob, it's good to have you on Ghana Connect.
Thank you very much, boss.
Well,
good evening to your church viewers.
Definitely. Listeners. Dela is an activist. He's also quite a business enthusiast, and is connecting with us also on Zoom. Dela, if you can unmute, I hope you are doing well. Hello, Dela.
I'm doing quick. Yes, can you hear me, Kwaku?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me, Kwaku?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much for connecting with us. And pretty shortly, we'll also be joined by Worship Joshua Frimpong. His importation of pharmaceutical product, and he is really struggling because of the current exchange rate issue. So let's zoom right into Benjamin Yeboah, the Welfare Officer of GUTA, and talk about how they've been coping. So in terms of the trend, How bad is the current exchange rate and the depreciation the way we are seeing it now and the impact on the business?
Yeah, Baba, you see, just a month plus ago, it was around 12 cedis to the dollar. Now, just it's a little over a month now, it's moved from that 12 cedis. Now, it's past the 15 CD mark. It's now edging towards the 16 CD mark to the $1. And that is, it tells how bad it is, because immediately this happens, you can imagine, it derails everything. It derails those who are bringing in goods, because then you would have to go and look for extra cities to be able to go and clear the same amount of goods that you used to clear. And if you are not careful, you delay. You remember, you're going to be caught up with demurrage. If you are not careful, you are not be able to pay, then you are looking at auction. And those that are able to clear, when it gets into the market, those who are going to buy and sell to, you can imagine, the item that they sold just a few weeks ago down the line has increased. And therefore, if they consume any money thinking it's their profit, it's a problem now, because they have to look for extra cities to go and buy the same amount of goods. And those that have contracted loans to, they are in trouble. But now they can't service their loan. So we are getting a repetition of what happened in 2022 mid-year. As it's the same play that we are getting now. And it's really, really not the best.
I mean, Jacob, you are also in Abosiokai. For those of you deal with a lot of imported materials. Almost everything at Abosiokai is imported because we don't do a lot of those vehicle parts here in Ghana. Is that a similar sense? Is that the same sense you get in terms of how bad the situation is?
Yes, Kwaku. Good evening once again. Yes, just as he said earlier on, that is the same thing that is going on. Currently now, burgers are really struggling to get their goods delivered from the port because of the rise of the dollar against the cedi. So now, those who are able to do that will come with their goods and then inflate the prices, and then you, the buyer, going to buy from them, have to just gather a whole sum of money and able to pay them. And then now what they do is, once their goods are delivered from the port and then they bring it to Abosiokai, now they take their money per the time that the goods are being discharged from the container. So if you don't have money, you won't be able to buy from the burger. Now that is the current situation we are facing at Abosiokai. And as a result of this, many people are unable to buy goods from these burgers that import these spare parts from other foreign countries.
Interesting. I mean, Dela, you are a consumer, right? So a lot of things we consume here are not manufactured locally, they import. And to import, you need to exchange your cedis to the foreign currency of the country you're importing from. And the international currency, de facto, is the dollar. You get a sense that prices are going up in a very, very steep way. Is that the same sense you get as a consumer because of the exchange rate fluctuations?
Certainly. You know, currently, I was just coming out from the market. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
I was just coming out from the market, and the rate at which the prices of foodstuffs are skyrocketing is very, very alarming. I mean, looking at our current situation, the cedi depreciation has been a significant concern for the country's economy for the past 7 years now. And when we talk about it, nobody wants to listen. I mean, where is our so-called economist guru, the current vice president of our country? He proposed every ideal to solve our economic problems. Where are we now as a country? I mean, he even doesn't want to talk about it, which is very sad for all of us as a nation. Today, when you hear him, he can only talk about digitalization. Whilst the grassroots are suffering, the downtrodden are suffering. With respect to the cedi to the dollar issue, today, how much are we buying dollar in the market now? 15 Ghana cedi. $1, 15 cedi. Can you imagine this? So for me, as an activist, I can only call on him to do the needful, to come out boldly and tell the whole nation that no, I thought I could do it, but as the situation we are in currently now, I can't help further. That's all.
Well, I mean, I want us to have a conversation around the table, and I'll go to Worship Yafe from Prong. He's just joining us on the mobile phone to have a perspective on that. So we should come around the table. Let's make this as interactive as possible. But Joshua, do you agree with the position Dela makes there? That listen, this is simply down to political leadership, and that the persons at the helm are not doing quite well.
Sorry, Kwaku, could you take that again?
Yes, I'm asking if you agree with Dela. Dela makes the point that this is down to political leadership. Indeed, he narrows it down to Dr. Mahmoud Bame. But you're a businessman. You see it. You feel it. You agree that the politicians, the persons who are running the city, the exchange rate, are simply just not doing their job. What sense do you get from the market?
Well, I honestly agree with Dela's point, because here in Ghana, we're not able to separate political leaders away from ordinary leaders. There's that marriage and intertwining. So, admittedly, our leaders have failed us in terms of managing our currency, because for us as business people, the impact of whatever becomes of our city regulates how even our consumers react to the services that we provide for them. And it's been much of a hurdle, particularly for my business, because I'm in the health space and I deal directly with drugs. A number of the services that we provide, a number of the things that we purchase are things that are oftentimes imported, like the drugs. And so every time there's a depreciation of the city, there's a lot more we have to acquire in terms of our currency to be able to meet up with the exchange rate, to be able to procure goods. And it's really being a big problem. Additionally, as a startup, talent retention has been one of the issues, because the more you have challenges with the currency, the more you struggle to maintain the workforce and the human resource that you have in your company. There are a number of them I can talk about: operational constraints, reduction, particularly in investor confidence, which really has been quite the talk of the day in various areas, because a number of businesses are running on the shoulders of investors. And investors lose confidence regularly when depreciation occurs.
What are you doing to come by? Are you one of those who are really just passing this on to the consumer? The fact that you import, say, paracetamol, if it's not locally manufactured, and you have to pay $5, you say, okay, well, the consumer pays exactly that. Is that affecting how people are buying from you because the prices are simply going up at the counter?
I am part of the business. My business is part of the ones that, unfortunately, has had to put a little pressure on the consumers, because at the end of the day, drugs are a necessity. And the presence of drugs in a community like ours, where we're running a community pharmacy, is a condition precedent to saving people's lives. And so drugs must always be present in the shop. Now, if we're not able to put that little pressure on the consumers, it means we're going to run out of stock. And people will walk in all the time, not be able to get drugs, and affect the general health of the community. So we've had to, in one way or the other, increase some of the price of the drugs. And these drugs are basic drugs that people need to carry out their daily activities, to deal with the likes of malaria, to be able to maintain their blood levels, along the others. So unfortunately for us, we've had to, tag along with the unfavorable tide to balance the scale, because we still need to be in business to be able to support the lives of people, essentially.
I mean, Benjamin, do you get the same sense that your businesses may just go under because you keep passing on the cost to the consumers? It means the cost of the product you are selling keeps going up. That is affecting business. That is affecting the number of people who are purchasing. The purchases are really going down, whittling away the capital that you have. But do you sense that you can keep putting this cost on the consumer? At some point, you have to take a big hit, and the businesses may just have to go under.
You see, my brother, the point is that is one thing actually passing on the cost to the consumer, and another thing as to whether the consumer is, capable enough in purchasing the item from you. And that is the problem. We cannot continue doing this. You see, my worry is that, look, when the city depreciates faster, as we are seeing this time, we are talking about it. Last 2022, it happened. We were talking about it. When it stabilized a bit last year, we were all quiet about it. You see, but what is the problem? Because just like the finance minister said today, they are going to start pumping in some money, syndicated loans, what do you call it? We are getting money, Exim Bank, the Ghana Commercial Bank, and then the one they are expecting to from, I think, the World Bank. You see, when you do that, like it did in 2020, you pump in the money, you stabilize it, and then we go to sleep. Can we continue doing this? What is the problem? So that we get the proper remedy for the sickness. Otherwise, we will just continue to take, my brother is in the pharmaceutical, you just continue to take paracetamol and APC and all that. They are painkillers. And then we continue to have this running every 2 years or so, then we will be talking about it. What is the problem? And I think the politicians or those in the helm of affairs to tell us what it is so that we can get a lasting remedy to it. Otherwise, we are all at the receiving end. How can we continue doing this, passing on to the consumer? It will get to a time we'll have to sit back and then no one is selling. And then are we coming to a stop? Is that it?
I mean, pretty serious. But Jacob, at Abosiokan, do you get a sense that your fellow traders have just given up really on the system and are just trying to find a way to deal with this so that it doesn't impact their business so much? And can you tell me a story about businesses probably folding down? Some of the shops around you closing down? Are they reducing stock just to try and manage?
Sure. Yes. So currently, what we do now is, since the cedi is depreciating against the dollar, and then importers have decided not to reduce the rates on which they put on their goods. Now, what we do is, you, the buyer, going to buy from the importer, you have to adjust, because you cannot inflate the price because the importer has done that. Else, the one coming to buy won't be able to purchase from you. So what we do is we just adjust and then maintain the old price that we used to sell. And then when you are going to buy, you just have to plead with the importer so that at least he can just adjust the price a bit for you to buy. And if you cannot do this, then there is no way you will be able to buy from the importer. And as a matter of this, you won't be able to get something to sell. So you just have to stay home because there is nothing to sell. So then what are you going to do? What are you going to sell? So since there is nothing for you to sell, then you have to stay back. And then as a matter of this, a lot of people are staying home. A lot of guys are willing to come to work and then sell, because now they don't have the means or they don't have the money to buy from the importer to get goods into their various stores and then sell.
I mean, Worship, the finance minister spoke today, announced quite a number of measures that they are taking to try and halt the cedi's decline. I didn't think I heard something structural, because we've all agreed around this table and so many times that the cedi's issue is that structural. You have a very heavily import-dependent economy. Getting 150 million in from IMF loan, World Bank loan here and there, I mean, the petroleum bill of the country is nearly $400 million every month. So they can just gobble up that. Do you sense from what you've heard, and I mean, Worship what's his name? Jacob really paints a very ghastly picture of what is happening in Abosiokan. So many shops closing, folding up. Do you sense that we've heard enough from the political authorities in how we can design a system that effectively works, that really deals with these challenges? Or we're probably going to hit 20 very soon?
Right, Kwaku. So the accounts have a proverb that they say. They say that if you say that your grandmother is just asleep, she'd wake up for us to see. At the end of the day, we'd equally just realize that the grandmother is dead and not just asleep. We have been pussyfooting this issue all the time and making a whole media facade about it, that, oh, we are arresting the dollar, we are doing this, we are doing that, when we actually know that this is the roadmap we have to use and resolve the challenges. And admittedly, I agree with everybody that says that it's structural, because you need a number of things, and there are cardinal indices that must be attained for your cedi to be able to stand and resist some of these, changing times. And so we must be able to put the necessary things in structure and do what we have to do. We have blown a number of cash on so many things that have not resolved the import issues that we have in this country. And I'm beginning to believe that somebody somehow enjoys from the dollars. Because if not, and everybody is suffering, and all of us are suffering, and all of them have businesses too, why is nobody concerned about resolving the issue? Why is nobody concerned
about you sense that certain persons may be profiting from this? I've heard Gutta president speak on our platform this week and say that, listen, if you have $100 million, you're a politician or something, and you have $100 million, and the city declines to 20, that is doubling the money without any work done. But of course, it affects government's debt position and all that. But he's saying there may be people profiting from the city's continuous decline, for which reason there's really no action. Or perhaps this is the city's real value.
I mean, I don't think the two questions are any different from themselves. There's that kind of connection, because at the end of the day, you'd be able to identify whether or not your city has a real value on some of the decisions that key persons in the country will take. If you actually believe that your city has some weight, I don't think you would want to hoard and ensure that it gets depreciated in the end, because you'd rather want to protect your currency to ensure that its value is seen across board. So definitely, at the end of the day, this is the real value of our city. And it has not been a today issue. We've had this thing since 2000. The solution that we brought at the time, of course, during Kufuor's time, was to do a redenomination and then oftentimes bring in a new currency, try and say, oh, we've changed this up to this thing. It balances a little bit, and then we'll come back to the default setting. Those are not the solutions to it. Those are not the solutions to it. And I speak to you beyond health, that as a farmer who is joined up with many other farmers producing enough for us to meet the deficit that is on our local market in terms of farm produce, there's still not been fundamental support to up that produce. We enjoy a lot more import than we do. Check online, check on the data. We import a lot more maize when we produce as much as we import. So why are we doing that? Why don't we believe in the things that we produce in our own country? And why can't we push up the value?
Important structural issues that you raise, and I'll come back to the matters of your farm and what support we can offer. I mean, there are so many farms around, so if we can at least be food dependent, we're going to cut, because I know we spend $300 million, so much of this to import sugar and rice annually. Can we do something similar? I know there's the Commander Sugar Factory that has not produced a sugar yet. We are doing a documentary on that. But those are all questions that need to be answered. But Dela, you've heard the point that has been made there about probably that this may be the real worth of the Ghanaian cedi, because the dollar is such a powerful currency. It is the global hegemon. So perhaps, listen, not a future NDC government could change this, or perhaps an MPP person may change this. It's just accepting that, listen, this may be the true level of the dollar and adjust.
Not at all. I stand to be corrected. You see,
but because I make this point, because on NDC, the depreciation was a bit steep. We moved from 1 to 1. At some point, we hit 3.9 before the NDC left. If you look at that, that was big in itself. Of course, it's not comparable to what we have now, but that was still steep in and of itself.
Yes, Kwaku. I mean, you can't compare from 1 cedi to 3 cedi dollar ratio when NDC left office and compare up to now. We did this short period. Look at where we are now. $1 to 15 cedi. Can you imagine this? You see, let us not forget that one thing we're supposed to do as a nation is our trade deficit. I think my other panelists have also talked about that. Our trade deficit. You know, when import exceed export, demand for foreign currency increases, putting pressure on the cedi. That is a fact. And we were told that a lot of interventions were made where our vice president, so to speak, said they were pushing the SMEs and other businesses by even giving tax waiver to certain companies. I mean, where are those money? What has gone wrong over the period? That is a question we need to ask. And also, our low foreign exchange reserve is very bad. Inefficiency reserve makes it harder to support the country's currency. That is a fact. And our public debt is very high. Government have borrowed unnecessarily for just consumption. And when you do that, you are hurting the economy. Like the vice president said, when your fundamentals are wrong, the exchange rate will surely expose it. And this is the situation now. But where is he? He's running away. Currently, he's talking about digitalization. Whilst the masses of the people are suffering. That is what we are talking about. So for me, I can only say that the best form for him is to come out clear and talk to us that, oh, I thought I could manage it or I could help change the situation. But here I am. I'm sorry, I can't do it further. That is all.
I mean, Vicentia is also a business owner. She's into importation, Calidad Imports. Vicentia, how is the business doing? Can you unmute? Yes. Hello, Vicentia. I think there's a little challenge with Vicentia's connection. We'll try and put her on the phone and speak to you about that. But the city situation, it's that bad because, listen, I do Netflix, you do Spotify, you do Apple Music, and you have to pay $9. That is my own experience. This week, I had to pay $9 for Netflix for a month. $9, and that is nearly 140 Ghana cedis, around 135 Ghana cedis. That is how much you have to pay for something that is $9. And it's exasperating. Like you kind of feel like, really, you pay the same for Spotify, and your cedi, your salary is cedi denominated, and you are spending literally in dollars because almost everything is literally priced in dollars. They can do the conversion for you to pay in cedis, but you are paying dollar rate. That is how much the situation is. Papa Ni is going to join me in studio pretty shortly. The messages are coming in thick and fast. We'll try and get some of them to take them, but we've been hearing from Vicentia Megbeto, owner of the Calidad Imports, and Benjamin Yeboah, Pierre Jacob of Guta Dela, an activist and business enthusiast. So let me talk to Vicentia. Vicentia, I was asking about the business and how you are coping with these fluctuations. You are a young business trying to survive Volta region, trying to do some imports here and there, and the city is just lashing you like that.
Hello?
Yes, Vicentia, you're alive.
Now, please, can you come again?
Yeah. I was making the point about the city and how you are coping as a young business owner into imports. It means you need to do a lot of exchange. How are you getting by?
Okay. For me, I'll say the city depreciation has affected me negatively because it made me lose customers, and also the price of items now is very constant, I might say, and it makes customers not even put trust issues. It brings trust issues between us because now, maybe for example, I am running a pre-order, okay? So I give a price for a customer like my item is 5 cedis. That's for the old, maybe the rate I've used to calculate for my item before pricing it. And now because of the cedi depreciation, I've increased it to 10 cedis. And they'll be like, why? Why did you change the price instantly? And I don't think I can trust you again to do business with you and stuff. So all these issues are bringing, they brought, how will I say this? It's really a misunderstanding between customers and I, which even made me to stop for now. And looking at the shipping agency, they've also increased their CBM rate and the dollar rate. So even by the time the item gets to Ghana and you even giving it to your customers, asking them to pay shipping fee, they're already telling you that if you compare the price to the price like Ghana market, like Ghana price in the market, it's almost the same. So there's no, they don't understand why they have to pay you to get something for them, and in a month's time, it will just be equal as the market price. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if any how will I put it, our daily income or maybe monthly income too has decreased because we are working for profit. You understand? And here lies the case because of the city depreciation, and maybe at the end of the day or at the end of the month, what you are expecting to get, you are not getting it, and it's making your business, I would like to say, to collapse in a way, which is actually not helping we the importers. Like I'll say for now, 50% of my colleagues that I know are into this importation business, they have stopped because they can't continue to be running at a loss because of this research. I think the government has to do something about it for us.
Something urgent needs to be done. I'll come around the table pretty shortly so that we can share our expectation. The finance minister has been speaking today. He said he's listening to people. He is willing to take these ideas on board. But Michael Baponi Ashale joins me in studio. Let's get through some of the messages that have been coming in. Michael, a lot of messages coming in thick and fast. I'm sure some people are doing quite well with the dollar, or the situation is just like everybody else.
Well, quickly, let me tell you about Mauli from Ekwapim, who says he operates a laundry. For him, the cost of detergents, bleaching products, electricity, and packaging materials has been on the rise for a very long time for him. He says that, but it's very difficult to raise our fees too much. So the likes of Kwaku Asante will come and expect that you still charge the same old price.
Then I will make you
But I'm not sure you have that time to do that really. But that's a challenge for him, that he's faced with the dilemma of having to charge same, but on his side he has to pay more to get the same detergents. But he goes on and says that he was on the N1 this week and noticed that many of the stores whilst you're traveling from here to Tamale are now empty and have been taken over by weeds. Well, he's trying to liken that to the difficulty in the economy. Let's go to Ketana, where Promise says, since we have weak economic management team, the dollar is running faster than them and exchange rate just exposing them. To Benjamin Akpalu, who says, in fact, the city depreciation has collapsed my business. I import animal feed from outside, but due to the city's depreciation, I can hardly move on with my business and life has become unbearable for me and my customers. We are pleading the government to do something about this for us. Let's go to Spinters, where Nana says, guys, what on earth did Ghana do when thousands of dollars was found in a civil servant's, a government minister's home? Sad Ghana is going nowhere. That's Nana from Spinters. Yeah, so you get the impression that, well, from all the messages that we have, quite a number of them, though I'm not sure we can go through all of them.
I mean, unless you are into some big exportation, that the exchange rate differential will make some big difference to you. You are probably going to be struggling like every one of us. But thank you very much, Michael Baponi Ashale, bringing us the messages. But we're just about wrapping up, so let's go around the table. Let's do 30 seconds each. What do we expect the government to do? Let me start with you, Benjamin Yeboah-Guta. You've been big on this. What do you expect government to do in the short term for you?
Was telling us all this morning that they are going to have this cocoa syndicated loaning. They are going to get this Exim Bank, commercial bank money in. They are going to get the IMF, the third trend in. That is the short term they are telling us. Our problem is that this is just a repetition of what happened in 2022. So did we identify what the problem was? Well, it's like you keep on pumping the money, it's siphoning out. So what is happening? Because if we don't identify what the real problems are, we keep pumping the monies in, we will be back somewhere in 2025, somewhere in 2026, talking about this same issue. And it's a worry. And at least government should bring, yesterday we met with them, but we couldn't discuss that far. It should be quicker. Get all stakeholders involved in, because our one Ghana, it's our one Ghana, it's our one city. So let us get everyone on board, regardless of their political background, so that we work on it. We cannot continue having this way of parenting. It's not the best for anybody in this country.
Right. Thank you very much, Benjamin Yeboah, Welfare Officer of Guta. Pierre Jacob, for those of you in Abusokan, what is the message to government?
Okay, so I will side with Benjamin, just as he said earlier on. At this point, we need everyone on board, irrespective of your political background. Everyone should come on board to get this current issue rectified. And then also, at our various spots, the government should try to get a flat rate at our various spots. Once we get a flat rate at our various spots, I think when investors or importers import their various goods into the country, we'll get a flat delivery price to buy our goods, and I think it will be the best for all of us, and then at least it will ease the pressure that is impending now.
Thank you very much, Jacob, for that. There have been calls for dollarization of the economy. Dela, is that the same sense you get that probably we should be spending the dollar in a minute? If we made the dollar the currency, probably not have to deal with exchange rate fluctuation. On mute, Dela. Okay, I don't have the less attention. When I get him back, I'll put that to him. But Worship, you heard the okay. Dela is back. Dela, let me hear from you.
Kwaku, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You can do that quickly for me.
Yes, currently I am on the view that let's, as a youth in this country, let us ask ourselves, how much are we seeking or are we expecting from the IMF this time, and how much tax waiver was granted to a political cronies? Just recent past, a tax waiver that was granted to a political cronies. That was said by the minority leader anyway. So this should at least inform us heading to the post 2024. Let us make an informed decision to hold our future. We cannot live and think all is well whilst we have the current crops of leaders managing the country, and we still think that if we should give them the nod, they would then do what? Manage it better.
I mean, Worship, let me give you about the last word before we just wrap up. Jacob makes the point about standard exchange rate, flat exchange rate at the port, for instance. Is that something that we can do? Is that something that businesses will back? That let's say we decide that at the port, $1 is 10 for the next 2 or 3 years. Hello, Worship. Well, I appear.
Bismarck, I'm here. Sorry.
Did you mean Kwaku Asante?
Am I loud and clear?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Hello.
Yeah, yes, Worship, I can hear you. Make the point.
Great. In fact, I may not hold the same position because it will be very difficult for us to have a standard rate, given that we don't control all the other factors. But I'll add that, dealing with your currency depreciation involves a combination of different strategies, some of which are short-term and then long-term. What I would suggest are about 4 of them. The fundamental thing for me, which of course I've talked about, is structural.
Because we are just out of time, if you can mention them for me, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can just call it.
Yes. So the first one is we should find a way and diversify the economy. We need to reduce reliance on single sectors. We should also find a way and promote export. Once there's competitiveness on the market, your city also begins to regain its value. The next thing that I want to talk about are the structural reforms. We need to find a way of improving our business environments here that boosts local industries and positions them in a way that they can also compete on the larger market. And the last thing for me is the monetary policy adjustment. We need to find a way, of course, and reducing government spending.
Government spending is something that the finance minister himself talked about. Vicentia, thanks so much also for joining in. I wish you all the best for your business. I understand, like you said, some of your friends are folding up, but keep up. Let's see that things will get better. Andy Dusty is up next with the library. You don't have to miss it. One of the best shows on your Friday evening is the best you want to listen to. Thank you very much, Dela, an activist and business enthusiast connecting with us. Apia Jacob, a paper dealer at Abosio Kai, Benjamin Yeboah, welfare officer at the Ghana Union of Traders, Vicentia Megbeto, owner of Kalidat Imports. She's into importations, talking about how some of her colleagues are just dropping by. My name is Kwaku Asante. We're back again same time next week with another exciting edition of Ghana Connect. Like I said, the library is up next with Andy Dusty. Don't go nowhere.